Well, this is my home-built bandsaw mill I made maybe 6 years ago. It kind of started the channel. I haven't had it on the channel for a few years now, and honestly I haven't used it in about a year and a half. It's just been sitting up here. Lost a bunch of footage the other day when I was weed whacking all the brush off of the track here, putting a battery in it to get it fired up. All electronics still work on here. So in this video we're going to be taking off the guard, changing out the blade guide bearings, and hopefully doing some milling. So stick around, enjoy the video.
So the blade tensioning on pneumatic tires on these bandsaws are pretty simple. You just air down both tires, roll the blade off, and when you're ready to put a new blade on, roll a new one on. And I air them up to about 45-50 psi, and blade's all tensioned, good to go.
So when I have a chance to have the blade off of here, I usually check the wheel bearings just to make sure that they're good. I usually keep all these bearings around in stock. Everything feels good. I'm gonna check these guide bearings next. Because I don't get up here all the time and run this, I forget some stuff sometimes, so I used label maker and blade length, belts, and all the bearings specs right here. So that one's starting to freeze up right there. These top two are shot, they won't turn. There's a bearing back here that's turning. Alright, I'm going to replace a few of these. Here's my little stash spot for drive belts and bearings. Here they are, 608s. They're same as skateboard bearings.
So if you go back through and watch the original video of me building this, you'd realize the blade guides looked a lot different. Originally, before I had these ball bearings on there, I had UHMW skids for the blade to run on, but they kind of wore out too quickly and had to be adjusted commonly. So I retrofitted it and put these top and bottom bearing guides. Works far better. They are a much better improvement to the mill.
So there's some of those bearings I pulled off of there. They weren't going to work very good after that. But they're super cheap. I think you can get about a 20 pack of them for about 12 bucks. So got them all freshened up, ready to put the blade on. Alright, time to put the bandsaw blade on. This is actually a used blade. I salvage some of them sometimes for my work. They're carbide tipped. And a friend of mine owns a saw blade company and he shortens them for me. But I've also found, like, this is good because it's salvage, but I found the blades are pretty affordable from him, non-carbide, and they work very well. If you're interested in how to fold and unfold bandsaw blades, I'll put a link to a video up here. Because they got a lot of spring pressure in them, you want to do them right. Alright, time to put this on the sawmill. Let's get cutting. Well, filling up the second tire on here, and starting to rain. I knew it was kind of coming, looked like it was going to rain. So I think I'm going to hold off on milling anything right now till the rain stops later. And I got the mini Pinsgauer to work on anyway, so while it's raining I think I'm going to go down to the shop and work on that. We'll come back with some milling in just a moment. So what do you know, the battery I bought about 3 weeks ago for this thing is dead. I put it on the mill and put my battery charger back on. I got a little solar battery charger, and the charger controller actually burned out and it drained the battery. So 82% now charged back in here, so I think we can start milling.
Having a good battery on this mill is definitely key. Not only is it only electric start, but I've added a lot of 12-volt accessories like height adjustment, throttle and blade lube controls, and of course the power feed. And with a good battery, the charging system and the motor doesn't have any problem keeping up with that, but you always got to have a good battery on hand.
Alright, so for blade lube, I found over the years, Arizona iced tea works really well. No, just kidding. It's just a water jug using. Put in water here and a little bit of pine saw. So for every gallon, maybe a cup of pine saw. Works pretty good.
So these trees have been sitting down there for about 3 years in this section. I cleaned this road out again this summer, and they just weren't super desirable. They're pretty knotty, but I milled it up and got some lumber out of it anyways. But this big one I'm going back for next. This guy is about 10 feet long, quite heavy. My tractor wouldn't touch it. Like I said, they've been sitting back here for about 3 years now. And I found the excavator moved it pretty well as long as I put my blade down and walked the log about 4 or 5 feet to it. Backed the excavator up and did that over again. But got it up on the mill. Got some pretty big slabs off of this thing.
Well, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video here. It's good to get the mill fired up. It's crazy I haven't ran it for a year and a half or more. And I got a lot of logs stacking up around here. I need to start milling after dropping those trees above my cabin. So it's nice. Been milling some Douglas fir and some cedar here. I actually want to work on a little pole structure I'll be doing a little video on. Using the excavator quite a bit to do some terracing over here. I need to have a spot so I can park the excavator out of the rain and probably my Suzuki carry under that, maybe the articulating dump truck. So just a little outbuilding. So I'm milling some of the timbers for that. And so you'll probably see a little more of the mill in the videos up and coming. Before you guys go, I want to mention something. If you're more interested in the mill and about more different parts and pieces or how I built it, down below in the description I'll put a playlist to most of my mill videos there, so you can go through those and check them out. And I want to recommend another little channel, a DIY channel, Ant's Pants. I think we've been following each other on YouTube for about 4 years now. He built a mill right around the same time I built my mill. I think he might be in Estonia. Great dude, working on some cool projects. He's got a lot of videos on his mill. Just came out with one recently again about going over some upgrades, some changes in his mill. I also want to recommend, if you get onto his channel, give him a thumbs up, leave a comment, consider subscribing. That'd really help him out. And he's actually working on a pretty cool series right now where he had an old 125-year-old log cabin on his property that was pretty decrepit. So he takes the whole thing apart, fixes up all the foundation, pours a whole new foundation, and he's putting a nice roof on it now and fixing the place up. So it's really cool to see somebody putting that kind of effort and work into it, but doing it on a realistic budget too. It's a cool place he's got. So if you're interested in that kind of DIY stuff and working outside, check out his channel. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. All right, until next time, thanks for checking out the video. Bye. Now that's a pretty nice slab. I think that would make a really nice tabletop, little bar tabletop or something. That turned out great.